Hey, welcome back everybody. So today we're going to get some new tires put on. I'm going to take the Exmark 72-inch and get new tires put on those rims, and my enclosed trailer, I'm going to get all 4 new tires on that. The lug nuts are 3/4 inch. That's one. You can actually see all the dry rot. I'm going to put all the lug nuts in a Harbor Freight magnetic tray, just so I don't lose them. All right, let's go jack up the enclosed trailer. I got to move some vehicles around. I'm taking a dump trailer, so I'm letting someone use it, so I'm going to deliver that. So I'm going to pull that out of here. My enclosed trailer is tucked up behind there, but it's all the way up to the side. So I'm going to pull the dump trailer out with the truck, leave it connected. Then I'll take the tractor and I'll move the enclosed trailer so I can get to both sides a little easier. So let's see how I do. I think I'm gonna lighten the load on the trailer before I jack it up. I think I got the tracked concrete buggy in there, or the stone buggy. So let's take that out of here. Very important when you're loading or unloading a trailer with the cables. If your ramp does not sit, let me go over here so you can hear me. If the ramp does not sit flat all the way across, you could blow out one of those steel cables, and the doors weigh hundreds and hundreds of pounds. We've had a door actually fall on us before, and it is brutal. So anytime you have a door like this that it's on an angle, just wedge it up. See? Let me show you what I mean with these trailers, because we learned the hard way. These cables, let me take this block out of here. There. All right. These cables are basically like a torsion spring, I think it's called. And so it turns this big heavy duty spring in here like a garage door. And here's the other cable on the other side. So if you loosen one side, one steel cable, let me come back out. So if you loosen one side, like this side will go slack. This side will go slack when I step on this, because I took that support out. So when I step on this, let me go down wide angle. Okay, so I'm gonna step on this ramp right here, and it's gonna tighten this cable up and unspool more of it to make the gate hit the ground. This side's already hitting the ground. So this side's gonna go slack. All right, see it going slack? And all I'm doing is putting foot pressure on this gate. And if you're too far out of whack, what will happen up here, it's kind of sunny, I can't see. What will happen up there is that steel cable, see it slacking, will actually pop off that pulley. And then you're gonna have a rat's nest of a time trying to get that on there. And these gates are a lot heavier than they look. I had a 20 foot by 8 foot by 8 foot trailer. And so the gate was 8 foot by 8 foot square. It was basically an enclosed car trailer. That gate was so heavy, when one of those cables snapped, you couldn't lift it. It took 3 of us to lift just to close the gate, never mind trying to open it safely. And what ended up happening was during the fixing of it, when we were trying to repair it, the actual gate actually slid down. This is probably 10 years ago. The gate actually let go and fell backwards. And the one guy who was holding it closed like this couldn't even hold it, because once it started going, the thing must have weighed 400 pounds. There was no way, because the 2 of us couldn't even move it without a machine to get it, because it actually broke. That made it break right off. So lesson learned the hard way. Don't mess with these, don't mess with these gates, these ramps, but always support it anytime it's uneven. The gate, it's the ramp itself, always support. See, it's airborne here. So you just wedge something underneath there. So it's basically solid. So there's no give to it, and that won't happen. Lesson learned. All right, let's continue. I didn't show you me closing the door. Figure you guys know how to close the door. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to back this trailer back up and get it a little bit more centered and back as far as I can, because my driveway's on an angle this way. So I just want to back it up. It's a little flatter right here. And then that way it won't be in the way of anything either. So, all right, let's move the trailer. I'm gonna go loosen the other side. Trying to distribute the weight amongst all the jack stands, the jack, and this jack. Just so, because these frames really aren't solid steel. They're not like an equipment trailer. All right, let's zip these off. Before I take them off though, I'm gonna check the wheel bearings. Now I know I can spin it. I'm gonna wiggle it. There's a little play in it, so I'll probably inspect the whole thing once I have it all apart. I'll check the brakes, I'll check the bearings, all that, and the wires. So I'll show you what I have. This is a driver's side tire. Bald. This is the other driver's side tire. There's still a little bit of wear left on it. That's what these indications are, is the wear marks. Once they start hitting like this, tire's no good. That's an illegal tire. So you see this is hitting, and I do believe that's gonna be from me turning all the time with the trailer, with the tractor. So it is definitely due for tires anyways, definitely. But that's what I'm trying to prevent. See how they're uneven worn? Here it's flush. Here there's still a little bit of life left. Here's a little bit of life left. And then here's worn again. So basically, I think I'm overdoing it with the turning on the tires. Oh, look at that. This is the passenger side. This tire's in really good condition. That one's really good condition. This one has a hole, but it's not leaking. But it's a matter of time before that leaks. The wear mark is worn out right there. This is the outside of the tire. So this is worn, good, good, worn. Okay? So that's that one. This tire here, it's not bad. So I might keep this one as a spare for emergency. Oh, and we have a little runaway spider. What's up, buddy? So I think I'm gonna keep this one as a spare. Have him take it off the rim, and I'll just stick it in the shed so I have one emergency spare. So that's all 4 tires. Let's go get new tires. All 6 are loaded up in a truck. Got the trailer hooked up. Got about an hour drive. People keep asking what brand my dump bed is. Downeaster. I highly recommend it. This is not a paid advertisement, but I've had 0 problems with this dump bed, and I use it, as you see in my videos. I do recommend getting the load cover and the cab guard at the exact same time. And it's a nice low profile. I put the lights on it. So I definitely recommend it. Definitely recommend it. There's actually a video of me how I installed it, I do believe, on my channel you could check out. And then this will be the next thing to get new tires. These are the tires that had the 4 or 5 nails in each tire when I bought the trailer. So I patched those with plugs. So priorities first though. I don't really use this that much. So this will be next, probably in a month or so. I'll get new tires for this one. So more than likely, I'm not going to record at the tire shop, the guy putting new tires on the rims. So if anything, if I don't have any recordings of that, I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll wash everything, inspect everything, and we'll put everything back together, get everything back ready for work. See you tomorrow. Still up in the air. This one's still in the air also. Let's hope they last till morning. Good morning, everybody. So yesterday we ended up getting all new tires. I didn't get home till late. So let's see, can you see them in there? I got all new tires for the enclosed trailer, which is luckily still airborne back there, and the Exmark. So I'm gonna do the Exmark first. That's gonna be the quickest and easiest. I want to see if I can adjust the parking brake on there, because the parking brake, ever since I've owned it, the parking brake doesn't work. So it seems like it's out of adjustment. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. And then if I can get that fixed, then I'm gonna jump over to, well, even if I don't get it fixed, I'm gonna jump over to the enclosed trailer and get that going. So, well, let's get the day started. New tires on the Exmark. So I don't know if you can see because it's super bright outside. We're in the sun. But the way the brakes work is, I'll bring the camera in closer after I show you the working parts. You have the handbrake here, and you pull this through linkage. It comes down through here, through this adjuster linkage, this adjustment linkage, and it tightens this band up on basically the hydraulic motor that's right here, but we'll call it like a drum on a car. But it's basically tightens this band up, and that's what holds the brake on. So this is out of adjustment. So it's either going to be this linkage is out of adjustment or this linkage is out of adjustment. I am not sure. I've never adjusted this. This is actually the first time I had the tires off since I got it. So while the tires are off, we're going to do it. I was going to wash it, but I'm not going to wash it. I got too much stuff to do. So let me bring you in there and show you a little bit closer where the sun's not blinding the camera. So here is that linkage I was telling you about. Here's a pivot point right behind these two bolts right here. And the handbrake's up here. And this is on the other side also. So this is mirrored on the other side, all off one handbrake. So when I engage the handbrake, can you see down here? Yeah, you can see the band a little bit down here. You'll see the band actually move. And that's how it locks it in. So it's out of adjustment. So we got to get this basically tighter. Get some of this slack out of here. Here, now you can see all the slack down there, right here. So we got to get some of this slack out of here. So eventually I'll replace these. You can buy new bands. I'll buy new ones, and I'll throw some grease in there. There's grease fitting right here, I guess. So before I put the tire on, I'll grease it. So let's see if we can figure this out. So what I'm looking to do is to see which adjustment, either this horizontal bar that comes from the handbrake, or is it this individual rod right here that needs to be adjusted to take out this slack. So it looks like if I shorten this, like here's the adjuster screw, for some reason that's way off. So I have a feeling this is gonna be where I'm gonna be adjusting it, right here. So let's see. Never done this before, so if it works, it works. If it don't, it don't. All right, there's a pin that stops this, that holds this in there. So let's make this a little shorter. 2, that's 1.5, that's 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4. So that's 4 turns on it. It's definitely tighter. Not tight enough though. I'm gonna do the same on the other side too, if it works. So I tighten that up 4. Let's take the pin out. So it's a pin that you slide the pin in and then it hooks on and it holds it. So I did 4 turns, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7. That'd be nice if that's all how easy it is to adjust the brake. Let's see. Yeah, see now I got a little friction in the handle here. I didn't have that before. So we're gonna do a little bit more. I'd rather more brake than less. 8, that's 8. 8.5, 9, 9.5, 10. Let's see. See, this spring is already collapsed. So this is already, someone maxed this. It looks like someone maxed this out before. And I think you need a little bit of that spring tension. Let's see if I can even unloosen it. Probably not. You know what? No, I'm not gonna mess with that. No need to mess with it right now. My goal is just to get some parking brake on here so I can get off the machine without it rolling. All right, loosen that all the way down. Let's go 2 more turns. Half. Oh, nope, that's actually gonna be all I can get. 1, So let's see. See, now I did so much I can't even get a turn on it. So let's undo it. Undo it that one. Let's see. That seems to be working right there. I really think this is supposed to be loose here though, to get some spring tension. I am not an Exmark mechanic, just so you know. I don't even mow lawns for work. This is just my personal mower. Let's see, will that work? Yeah, that little bit is just too much. All right. I think that's, well, it's definitely better than it was. But let's get on the other side, see what the other side is doing. So the brake is off. And you can see how much play we have right here in this. And that's what I'm trying to take up. I'm trying to take up some of that extra play in there. And it's the exact same thing as the other side, it's just reversed. Pull the pin. And if you hear that crying, that's my cat. He wants to come outside. All right, so I pulled the pin. So now I'm gonna just tighten this up. 2, 3. It's not an exact science. Like I said, I'm not a Exmark mechanic. I am just trying to get it so I can use the brake. It's a hydraulic motor, so it's gonna be hard to turn it over anyways, but I think I can go a little more. Let's try it. And I'm quite sure there's people out there telling me I'm doing it wrong. And I'm quite sure I'm not doing it the way the book says, but I'm doing it. All that counts. That's gonna be too much. Well, I have no clue if that's going to be right or not. I still think I need to get more out of that. Relax, buddy. Well, let's get the grease gun. Let's get the tires on this thing. I'm gonna grease these two fittings, and then we'll see. We'll see if the parking brake works. Just so everybody sees, this who's making all the noise. This guy. Payman, relax. When I'm done working, you will go outside. When I am done working, you will go outside. Okay? Please behave. Please behave. Get down. Good boy. He's the one making all the noise. He's the one making all the noise. Huh? Huh? You just want to come outside, huh? Huh? All right, a little later. Let's get back to work. Since we're on this side, we're gonna do this side first. Let's see if it'll even take. Yep, it's taking it. All right, gotta get a rag to wipe that excess off. All right, started coming out right there, so I know it's full. Nice brand new tires. Look at that. I'm gonna order new brake bands for this, because I think those are worn out. There's not much padding left on them, brake pads. And everything's to the full extent of adjustments. So if that does not fix it, if the brakes don't work, won't be surprised. They haven't worked in 3 years, 2 years. So what's another couple weeks until I get the parts in? Just gonna take the tires off to do it. Oh, let me show you something. I said in another video of how lug nuts go on. Let me get the camera in here tight. All right, see this lug nut? It's flat on this side and this has a taper to it. I thought everybody knew that the taper goes into the rim, but at one of my last, well, it wasn't one of my last, but it was probably like 7, 8 years ago. I ran into a kid. He put tires on, it was actual bus, and he actually put them on this way. And when I looked at it, I'm like, you got the lug nuts on backwards. Well, he actually didn't know. So for anybody who doesn't know, this taper centers your rim on the studs. I'll show you on the other side. I'll do a close-up on the other side. But the taper goes into the rim and it matches the taper in the rim itself. One. Now I'll show you on the other side. Once I grease that side, I'll show you how it centers the actual rim, and that goes for cars too. So I'll show you on the trailer too when we do that. But let's go to the other side on the Exmark. There it is. All right. I got a little bit of grease in there. So I'm going to zoom in on the tire when I put the tire on. Okay, I'm going to move the camera, get it nice and tight in there. So, if you see there's play, if you see all that play, that's around the lug nuts there. See how There's a little bit of play in every single hole. So what you do, you take your lug nut, see the taper? You put the taper on the inside, and these rims are actually tapered on the inside also, where this other side mat meets. You put these on, get them, always start them by hand. The last thing you want to do is cross thread a stud. As long as you get like 1 or 2 good turns on there. And see if I can do this with a camera right there. I'm gonna use my impact gun. Sorry, it's gonna be a little noisy. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna go in a diagonal pattern. You're gonna snug this one, snug this one, snug this one, snug this one. You never go around a circle because you're trying to center it. So you're trying to let this lug nut center that rim, and you're gonna watch that rim move. Let me do it little by little here. See the rim move? And so now I'm gonna do the opposite side here, up here, if I could do it without bumping the camera. Oop. Camera's in the way here, hold on. All right, so now I do that, and you see it fine-tuned the rim. Now if you look down here, this one's pretty darn close to center, this one's pretty darn close to center. But once again, just snug it. Move the camera back over here. Snug it like that. Now they're all touching, and now you're just going to repeat the same order you did it before. You're gonna snug this one up. Snug this one up. And now this one and this one doesn't really matter what one you do because it's the same distance away. But when you're doing like an 8 lug, like on my F350 or the tractor or the equipment trailer or dump trailer, you always don't ever do them side by side. Go to that one. Go to that one. And then double check. And then you're good to go. And then once you get it on the ground, that's when you would torque it to your specs. But being that this is an Exmark mower, not a vehicle, and I am not an Exmark mechanic, I think that's going to be good enough. I'm only doing 1 mile an hour mowing or whatever it is. So now let's get all these tools picked up and jack this thing up and see how it works. So the tires are holding air. That's the most important thing. I don't want to have to keep filling up the tires every time I mow the lawn. It'll be a bonus if the brake works. Let's try it. Well, I'm gonna call the Exmark a success. Nice brand new tires on there. I replaced the fronts with flat free tires last year. So now the backs are good. Park and brake is holding. I'm definitely gonna put new bands on it, and then I'll go through it and do a full adjustment on it once I get the new bands. But it is definitely holding. It wouldn't even hold like this before, even on this little incline. It would already be 10 feet forward. So it is holding, it's not creeping forward. That's all that counts. All right, so let's get on to the enclosed trailer and put the new tires on the enclosed trailer. I'm gonna see if I get the, take a look at the brakes, the electric brakes on the trailer first before I put the new tires on. But here are the new tires. 10 ply. That's a load C. That's the one I told you I was gonna throw in my shed for a spare. So that's a load C. These are a load E. It says right there. That means they're 10 ply, up to 80 PSI. It says load range E, 10 PR, max load 2,400 pounds at 80 PSI. Max load, that's single. Duals are 2,090 at 80 PSI. See what I do without getting too greasy. I'm not going to show you all of them. I'm just going to show you, unless something major happens. But you take out the nut, and then there's a spacer or a washer. And then you have your actual wheel bearing right there. That's your wheel bearing. And now the hub should come right off. And that looks very good. Plenty of brake pad left on that. So they just might be out of adjustment. I just might have to hit the adjuster on the bottom here. So same thing, here's a magnet. You put your foot on the brake, it grabs the magnet, and it expands your brakes. Here's your, watch the brake. It's basically like a leverage. This sticks to your drum right here. This turns to electric magnet. The centrifugal force of the wheel spinning grabs it and expands the brakes. That's how they work. And there are lefts and rights. So you got to make sure you do, when you replace brakes, if you're working on the left, you buy the left. If you're working on the right, you buy the right. All right, that makes me feel better. All right, so I'm gonna inspect the other 3 axles or the other 3 wheel brakes, but I'm not gonna record it unless I find something that needs repair work. But like I said, if you wanna learn how I replaced them on the dump trailer, which is, it looks the exact same as on this, just go watch the electric trailer brake video that I have. All right, let me get the other 4 done real quick. All right, so we're underneath the trailer. You can see I got 2 jack stands, a jack, 2 jack stands in the front. Still not recommended to go underneath the trailer. Don't do as I say, not as I do. Let's put it that way. But here I'm inspecting the 2nd axle, and I want to look at the wiring. The brakes look good, the wheel bearing look good, but look at this. There's a wire. The wire's not even connected. One of the 2 wires. So that's why you inspect your equipment and your trailers. So that means I'm gonna have to splice some wires underneath here. All right, so I'm not gonna video all that, but I'm gonna check the wiring on that one, and then I'm gonna check the wires on those and the wheel bearings on those 2 on that side also. So that's definitely got to be fixed. So I'm gonna fix that. Like I said, you want to learn how to do it all, it's all on my dump trailer electric brake video. A lot easier to see. So let's get this one fixed. I am not going to record this one. So I got the driver's side on. I repaired, that's the one that the brake wire was broken. Got the driver's side on, it's still up in the air. I'm gonna go put the other side on, and I already inspected all the brakes and the wheel bearings. Everything's really good, except for that one broken wire. So I'm gonna go put the other side on, and I'm gonna show you what I mean about the lug nuts. This is 5 lug nuts, so you'll see you go diagonal. I'll show you how to tighten them up. So here we're on the driver's side. I put the tire on. I got all these on, so you can spin them all by hand. Okay, and basically, you see how that hole, that stud is not centered in that hole? Look at all that play in there. Okay, well, that's why these lug nuts have that taper on them. Let me show you. See the taper? It's like a funnel. See that hole? It's sitting on the top of the stud right now, and there's a big gap down here. Well, when you put this in, it will actually center that stud in that hole. Well, the lug nut will get centered in that hole. And what you do is you do diagonal. So you can start anywhere, but I'm gonna start here, then maybe go here, then skip and go over here, then skip and go here, then skip and go here. And then you just keep doing that. Okay, so you bring it up to touching, just so it's touching, just so it's touching. Skip over here, go over here, okay? And then I'm gonna go down here. See how this is now not touching? Watch this, okay? So now I know, for the most part, see how they all loosen up as you do that? Now they're all touching and they all should be centered in the rim. So now what you do is you go through and the exact same thing, you go diagonal, and you always want to make sure you have no dirt or crud behind the rim on the hub there. But now you just go diagonal again and tighten them up. This torque, this impact gun is so old, it has not a lot of pressure. So once I put it on the ground, then I'm going to put a torque wrench on it and get them to spec. I'll do that part by hand with a torque wrench. Turn a tire, or you do that. But that's how you do 5. And then with 6, you do as far opposite as possible. With 8, you do as far opposite as possible. So you never go around, because that's how you'll bend the rim, warp the rim, and you could tweak it, bend the actual, because these are metal, or you can actually get debris behind there, throw it out of balance. But that's good to go. So now I'm going to jack it up, put the trailer down on the ground, tighten them all up with a breaker bar, and we'll see it sitting on the new tires. It's my favorite time, picking up tools. All right, so we got some new rubber shoes on the enclosed trailer. Load rating E. That one front driver's side brake wire was disconnected. That's all fixed. all new tires on it. Go around the tractor without hitting my knee. Looks good. Sitting nice, not squatting. Wheel bearings are all good. Brakes are all in adjustment. It's gonna tow like a new trailer. I also got some new rubber on Exmark Z 72-inch cut. Look at those tires. Hopefully I won't skid so much and chew up the lawn. This is just a video about putting tires on. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. On one of my upcoming videos, my muffler is rattling on Cat 302.5. So be on the lookout. Eventually I'm going to do a video on, I just put a new muffler on 2 years ago. They're $700, but they're like 1/4 inch thick steel. But the problem is you got to take the interior out to get to it because it's underneath in the front of the engine. And you go in through a little hatchway and it's rattling, so it loosened up. So I'm going to have to get in there and retighten them up. That's why it's so noisy. It's just a muffler rattling against the frame. So that'll be an upcoming video. And I got get a piece of glass for the door that I've had duct tape on for 20 years, and I shattered the windshield. So I gotta rebuild the whole windshield. That's on the summer to-do list.